Hello everyone. We've gone ahead and looked at the video, and I decided let's go ahead and show some still images. This photograph here was shortly before JFK was assassinated, and just right here you can see William Greer, which is the driver of the limo. This was what you would call a limousine, I guess, back in those days. I'm going to go ahead and read a couple things regarding William Greer, and if my audio sometimes skips, I apologize for that. I'm working on getting another microphone, just something that it does, and I am aware of that. So let's go ahead and try to cover this. Greer was born in 1909, and he passed away in 1985. Obviously was an agent of the U.S. Secret Service, and he's obviously best known for driving JFK in the motorcade here. This wasn't a rarity for him. He was used to being a chauffeur. He can often be seen in a lot of the JFK family photographs, and he originally had joined the Navy in World War II, and he I don't know exactly what year it was, but he had finally joined the Secret Service in 1945, and since then it was very common for him to be a chauffeur. So as far as the criticism, Greer retired in 1966, and in 1973 he relocated to North Carolina, and that's where he eventually died of cancer. Some people have criticized Greer's actions during the assassination, noting that he did not accelerate the vehicle. In some of the video, you can actually see the brake lights come on just for a split second when he turns around to look at Kennedy. And his superior at the time, which was sitting to his right, Roy Kellerman, he was a senior agent, told him that they needed to get out of there. I forget his exact words, something like "we got to get off the line" or something like that. And he suggested after the fact that maybe he thought that Greer didn't take him seriously. And I don't know about you, but especially nowadays, when you're driving and you're behind somebody, they're going like 20 miles below the speed limit. And so you finally get around them, and when you take a look at them, they're on their cell phone or they're doing something, and it's a distraction. And because of that, they usually will drive slower, and they sometimes don't even realize it. So it could have very well been a natural reaction for Greer to kind of tap the brake and take a look at what was going on. Criticism is for someone to sit back and say, well, he should have done this or should have done that. That's just all talk. I can't blame the guy for what he did. It just happened. That's just how it happened. Some people will debate that he was a part of the conspiracy, and he slowed down on purpose so that Kennedy could get shot. Obviously, his actions of slowing down the car, by the time he had actually sped up, Kennedy had already been shot. So since then, the Secret Service has trained their guys to get out of somewhere as fast as possible. So they've probably always been trained like that, but it's ever since the Kennedy assassination, it's been more of a more noticed, I guess. They concentrate on that more than they would have before. Greer did eventually apologize to Jacqueline Kennedy, and I guess privately she was really bitter and towards how he reacted. And anyhow, no agents were reprimanded or disciplined for their actions, so it's just a horrible thing that happened. I can't blame Greer for what he should have done or anything like that, you know. Very easy for everybody to criticize something for, you know, how somebody should have acted, and it's just not fair in this particular case. So we've had many tragedies, you know, but people only seem to be critics when there's a tragedy, you know. When someone does something good, they get a pat on the back. I mean, anyhow, let's take a look here at some still images. Get rid of this one. All of these, I did not do these. I found these online, kind of saved myself some time. They were sufficient enough to where I could say what I want to say. And if you take a look at this photograph, you can see the reflection on Keller's head, and which is sitting is the passenger, and Greer is driving the vehicle. You can see the reflection of the sun, or you can see the sun glare on both of their heads. You can see the reflection on the passenger's forehead. You can see the reflection on the car windshield, the chrome framing that went around it. So it's very obvious. The circle points out they think that, oh, this is the weapon. They actually believe that this is a weapon. I see nothing to support this. If you look below his hand, which I believe it's his hand, you can see the passenger's hand. The reflection is the same. I mean, as far as the sun, the glare, whatever you want to call it, it's the same. So what does that mean? That the passenger now, he has some kind of a gun there? I mean, no. It's obviously he has his arm up and his hand is right there. And for the driver, I see nothing that suggests that this is a firearm. There again, some people in this particular photograph think that the reflection on his head is his hand and the barrel of the gun. I just don't buy it. It doesn't look sufficient enough for me. Here's a close-up. Again, you can see his hand. It's now below, and then you can still see both reflections on the top of their heads. We're going to go and skip to another photograph here in just a second. Okay, this last part, make sure we got enough time here. Good, perfect time. Top left of this one is the first frame, and it goes all the way to the bottom right, which is the last frame. Like I said, I'm not the author of this. I just found it online and decided it would save me a little bit of time. The main thing I want you to notice is that in the first frame, they're both looking straight. And as they move back or turn, then you can see the reflection of the sun on both of their heads. Now in the sixth frame, so that's in the middle row all the way to the right, you can see that the passenger is leaning forward just a little bit, and the reflection kind of is just at the very tip of his head. As he leans back, you can clearly see that he's leaning back. Look at his head, and look at the distance between his head and the window just to the left there. Not the windshield, but the actual window, which is to the left, the frame of it. So you can clearly see that he's leaning back. In the next frame, you see it kind of closes the distance, and then finally they're right there. So the way that it happened, it makes it look like it could be his arm. It could be some kind of a pistol, but it's not. And it clearly shows it here that it is a reflection, and it is not. It's not a weapon or anything like that. It's just how it happened. So anyhow, that's my take on it, guys. I think I'm reasonable enough for believing what I've supported here, and hopefully you guys can agree with me. Of course, we're all entitled to our own opinions, and you can believe what you want, but this is pretty straightforward. Thanks, guys.